Have you ever wondered what aging truly means? It's not just about the changes to your body or the marks left by time, but also how we perceive life, its meaning, and its value. The later years are not just about challenges, they're also an opportunity to rediscover yourself, live peacefully, and embrace life fully. Epert and rare, meaning elderly and infirm, neither grow nor mature. They drop dead of their illnesses. In this video, I'll share 7 powerful tips to help you enjoy your golden years in the most meaningful way. These aren't empty platitudes, but practical advice that will help you build a life filled with dignity, joy, and happiness. Why should you watch until the end? Because each tip offers a new perspective, helping you appreciate yourself, improve your relationships, and find real purpose in life. Let's turn the later years into a time of beauty and fulfillment. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Tip 1. Don't trust blindly when someone comes into your life. Trust is important, but trusting blindly can be a mistake, especially as we grow older. It might sound like something you've heard before, but at this stage of life, the advice takes on a deeper meaning. Loneliness often accompanies aging, leaving many of us craving meaningful connections, companionship that can brighten our days and give life a renewed sense of purpose. But that same longing can sometimes leave us more exposed to harm. The reality is, not everyone who enters our lives has good intentions. Aging can make us more empathetic and open-hearted, eager to see the best in others. While these are admirable traits, they can also make us vulnerable to people who know how to exploit kindness for their own gain. Consider Helen's story. She's a 68-year-old widow living on her own. A friendly neighbor began visiting regularly, offering help with small errands and lending a listening ear. Grateful for the support, Helen trusted him. But over time, the neighbor started asking for loans and eventually persuaded her to co-sign a debt. Believing in his good nature, Helen agreed, only to later find herself caught in a financial mess when the neighbor disappeared, leaving her to shoulder the burden. Situations like Helen's aren't rare. You may have encountered similar patterns in your own life. Someone who shows up when you're at your lowest, offering comfort and support, but conveniently vanishes when things are going well for you. These individuals often prey on vulnerability, using your need for connection as a way to benefit themselves. This doesn't mean you should close yourself off or stop forming new relationships. Instead, it's about being mindful and discerning. Pay attention to how people behave over time. Do their actions match their words? Are they genuinely invested in you, or are they looking for what they can get from you? Trust your instincts and don't hesitate to say no if something feels off. Setting boundaries is not just about protecting yourself. It's about valuing your peace and your worth. As we grow older, safeguarding our emotional and mental well-being becomes essential. It's not just about avoiding hurt. It's about ensuring the years ahead are filled with contentment and satisfaction. Imagine looking back on your later years and feeling surrounded by a handful of authentic, meaningful relationships. Friends who care for you simply because of who you are, not for what you can offer. That's the life you deserve, and it all begins with trusting wisely, not blindly. Learn to trust wisely. This doesn't mean losing faith in humanity, but rather being selective about who deserves a place in your life. When you master this, you're not only protecting your peace, but also making room for relationships that truly enrich your life. This is a priceless gift you give to yourself and to those who genuinely care for you. Tip 2. Stop living to please others, especially your family. This might be difficult to hear and even harder to accept, but it's an essential truth. Many of us have spent our lives trying to meet the expectations of others, our children, grandchildren, or even our spouses, believing that endless sacrifice is the purest expression of love. However, here's a hard truth. When you constantly prioritize others at the expense of yourself, that sacrifice stops being love and starts becoming a form of imprisonment. Take the story of Margaret, a 72-year-old widow who devoted her life to her family. After her husband passed away, she continued to pour everything she had into supporting her son and his family. Margaret used her savings to help them buy a house, pay for her grandchildren's education, and even covered financial gaps when her son lost his job. Yet, when she needed help recovering from surgery, her son claimed he was too busy with work and his own family to assist her. That's when Margaret realized that despite all she had given, she was met not with gratitude, but with expectations that she would continue to sacrifice herself without question. Margaret's story is not unique. When you give all your time, energy, and resources to others, have you ever stopped to wonder, who is looking out for me? Often, the answer is no one. This leaves many feeling not only drained, but questioning their worth, despite a lifetime of generosity. The harsh reality is that no matter how much you give, people will always want more. Family members, often unintentionally, may start taking your sacrifices for granted, assuming your time and energy belong to them. They fail to see how this affects your emotional and physical well-being. But this stage of life should be about prioritizing yourself, rediscovering who you are, nurturing forgotten passions, and pursuing dreams you've set aside. Choosing to stop living to please others isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. Imagine if Margaret had kept part of her savings to fulfill her dream of traveling, or spent her time engaging in community activities she loved. Not only would it have brought her joy, but it also would have helped her feel more free and fulfilled. If the people who love you truly value and respect you, they will understand. They will encourage you to put yourself first. And if they don't, that's their problem, not yours. You've already done enough. Now is the time for you to live unburdened by the expectations of others. If you try to overcompensate by helping those around you do more or be cheaper, take a moment to ask yourself, what will make me happy? This is your time. Embrace it, seek peace, and allow yourself the freedom to do what brings you joy. After a lifetime of taking care of others, it's your turn to take care of yourself. Tip 3. Don't be afraid to distance yourself from toxic people, even if they're family. For many, family represents an unbreakable bond, a sense of belonging, and a cornerstone of identity. But the truth is, not every family relationship is positive. Sometimes we find ourselves caught in challenging dynamics, torn between loyalty to our family and the need to protect our own mental and emotional well-being. Consider Paul, a 70-year-old retired father living alone. His daughter frequently visited, but only when she needed financial help. At first, Paul thought he was helping her through tough times, but over time, he realized that whenever he refused her requests, she would lash out or stop contacting him for months. Their interactions became less about love and more about obligation, leaving Paul feeling used and emotionally drained. While he deeply loved his daughter, he began to see how their unbalanced relationship was disrupting his peace in his later years. Paul's story highlights a common struggle many older adults face: the guilt of setting boundaries, especially with family. Society often tells us that family is everything, that we should forgive, endure, and overlook all harm in the name of unconditional love. But the truth is, No love is worth sacrificing your mental and emotional health. Setting boundaries or creating distance doesn't mean you don't love your family. It means you recognize that your well-being is just as important as anyone else's. Toxic relationships, whether they involve manipulation, disrespect, or emotional exploitation, should not define your life. No matter how deeply rooted they are, creating distance from toxic individuals is not an act of betrayal or selfishness. On the contrary, it's a way to protect yourself and what matters most: your peace, mental health, and self-esteem. Setting boundaries may be one of the most difficult decisions you'll ever make, but it's also one of the most necessary. These boundaries don't just safeguard your inner peace, they also make space for relationships that are meaningful and sincere. By doing so, you can free yourself from unfair expectations and lack of respect, allowing time and energy to focus on what truly matters. Aging is not a time for silent sacrifice, swallowing hurtful words, or enduring injustices for the sake of family obligations. It's a time to build a life grounded in serenity and happiness. If a relationship, no matter how deeply rooted, doesn't contribute to that, you have every right to consider stepping back. Don't let guilt prevent you from protecting yourself. You deserve to spend your later years in peace, surrounded by respect and joy. You've already given so much, and now it's time for you to receive. Remember, your mental and emotional well-being is sacred. No one, not even family, has the right to make you feel small, used, or unappreciated. By choosing to set boundaries, you're not only freeing yourself from unnecessary pressure, but also paving the way for a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Tip 4. Stop waiting for others to acknowledge your sacrifices. Think about all the times you've put others ahead of yourself, whether it was your children, your spouse, your parents, or even your friends. Maybe you gave up on dreams, set aside personal goals, or sacrificed things that once mattered deeply to you because you believed, one day, they'll recognize everything I've done. The hopeful, beautiful thought. But the reality is, life doesn't always work that way. The moment you're waiting for, that heartfelt thank you or look of appreciation, may never come. And that can be a bitter pill to swallow, leaving you questioning whether all your tactic sacrifices were truly worth it. Take Linda's story as an example. She worked tirelessly her entire life, saving money to support her son's dream of starting his own business. When he became successful, Linda thought he would remember the years she devoted to helping him. But that didn't happen. Instead of gratitude, her son continued to ask for more, treating her support as something he was entitled to. When Linda needed help repairing her home after a storm, he casually dismissed her request, claiming he was too busy with work. That's when Linda realized that, despite all she had given, the recognition she longed for was never going to come. Linda's story is a reminder that when we wait for acknowledgement from others, we inadvertently give them control over our happiness. This not only leads to disappointment when gratitude doesn't come, but it can also allow that disappointment to turn into resentment. You might find yourself replaying old sacrifices in your mind, but now with a sense of bitterness because they weren't appreciated. This resentment can strain relationships and even make you question your own worth. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. To find true peace, you must learn to appreciate your sacrifices simply because you know they were meaningful. not because someone else acknowledges them. Ask yourself, did I do this because it was the right thing to do, or because I expected a thank you? If the answer is that you acted out of kindness and sincerity, then that's more than enough reason to be proud. Imagine the freedom of no longer basing your happiness on someone else's recognition. You can feel the value of your actions on your own terms, without waiting for validation. This not only helps you let go of disappointment, but also allows you to live more fully in the present. Being ourselves shows others that all our deepest thoughts, words, and deeds are seen and appreciated for who they are. In the present, you can feel the value of yourself too. When you stop waiting for others to acknowledge your sacrifices, you reclaim your power. You free yourself from the burden of unmet expectations and open the door to a life defined by your own standards, filled with purpose and self-respect. Your sacrifices are not meaningless. They are proof of your unwavering strength and love. Accepting that you may never receive recognition for your sacrifices does not mean your efforts were in vain. On the contrary, it demonstrates that you have loved and given selflessly, without expecting anything in return. This is a powerful act of self-love, allowing you to hold your head high, confident that what you have done is genuine and meaningful. Obedience to some knowledge is a power of self-love that makes you human and part of the team. Remind yourself daily that your worth does not lie in anyone else's acknowledgement, but in your own courage and generosity. This quiet strength has always been with you, guiding you through challenges, and it is more than enough. By letting go of the need for recognition, you reclaim your life and enjoy each moment with a calm heart and a clear mind. You don't need validation from others. You deserve to be proud simply because you know in your heart that you gave through a place of authenticity. Change. Don't use age as an excuse to resist change. Many people believe that age is an insurmountable barrier to change, but that's just a story society likes to tell. How many times have you passed on a new opportunity, an exciting hobby, or a journey of self-discovery because you thought, I'm too old for that? Maybe it's learning a new skill, breaking a bad habit, changing your lifestyle, or even opening yourself up to a new relationship. The truth is, as long as you are alive, you still have time to grow and evolve. Take the story of Michael, a 68-year-old man who always dreamed of painting but never picked up a brush because he felt it was too late. One day, his granddaughter encouraged him to join a painting class. At first, he was hesitant, feeling out of place among younger students. But after attending, he not only learned how to paint, but also found a new community of like-minded friends. After a short time, he came to regret his past, but too late he founded a home and new family and dropped everything, became a painter, and now joined the community of like-minded friends. Painting gave him more than a creative outlet. It helped him rediscover his capacity for growth, regardless of his age. Don't let the thought that it's too late hold you back. Dreams delayed and opportunities missed often happen not because they are unattainable, but because we convince ourselves they aren't meant for us anymore. The truth is, age isn't the obstacle. It's our mindset that holds us back. What many fail to realize is that growing older comes with its own unique advantages. You have the wisdom gained from years of experience, a deeper understanding of yourself, and valuable lessons from life's challenges. These qualities equip you to approach change with more confidence and insight. Ask yourself, why can't this stage of life be filled with just as much discovery as earlier ones? You've already overcome the challenges of youth, adulthood, and middle age. So why not carry that same spirit forward into your later years? Start small. Maybe it's picking up a hobby you've always wanted to try, traveling to a place you've longed to visit, or shifting your perspective on an issue in your life. Change doesn't have to be about impressing others. It's about finding joy and fulfillment for yourself. Changes made at this stage of life carry a deeper significance because they often stem from self-awareness and self-respect. When you decide to make a change, you're not just enriching your own life. You're proving that age doesn't define who you are. In The Painful Caveman, many times find the gift of questionable hope, and these experiences can lead to personal growth. Imagine if you saw age not as a limitation, but as a solid foundation for new adventures. You'd discover that your potential is boundless. Instead of viewing aging as a stopping point, see it as a launch pad. Every year you've lived is a tool in your life toolbox, and every lesson learned is a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and growth. Let go of the notion that age marks the end. Embrace the reality that every moment holds the possibility for change and development. Life still offers countless opportunities, new joys, and unexplored facets of yourself. As long as you're breathing, you have the capacity to adapt, grow, and make your life even more meaningful. Approach aging as a new chapter, not the conclusion. This isn't the time to dwell on nostalgia, but to create new memories and stories you'll look back on with pride and joy. Life is still moving forward, and you deserve to be an active, vibrant part of it. Tip 6. Don't cling to the past as if it's your only refuge. As we age, memories from our younger years often become trusted companions. Those golden moments of laughter, professional achievements, and passionate relationships have a magnetic pull, drawing us back for comfort and warmth. However, if we allow ourselves to get lost in nostalgia, we risk letting the present slip away unnoticed. Take Susan, a retired teacher who spent most of her time reminiscing about her days in the classroom, cherished by students and admired by colleagues. She felt those years were the pinnacle of her life, and nothing in her current reality could compare. Her attachment to the past made her hesitant to embrace new opportunities, isolating herself from friends and turning down invitations. It wasn't until a close friend encouraged her to join a local art class that Susan realized the present could still bring her joy and meaning, as long as she was willing to embrace it. Nostalgia is natural and can even be comforting, but it should be a small part of our lives, not the entire focus. Living too much in the past creates a prison of memories, keeping us from experiencing the beauty and potential of the present. The past has played its role, leaving its mark and shaping who you are today. But that doesn't mean the best days are behind you. Each day you wake up is an opportunity to create new memories and discover joys you never imagined. The later years of life are not a time to retreat into shadows and live solely in recollection. They are a time to find fresh reasons to wake up each day, new things to love, and new people to connect with. Don't let memories blind you to the beauty of the present. Let them inspire you, not excuse you from fully engaging with life now. Life is still moving forward, and it's waiting for you to join in. If you're willing to take that step, wonders still await. Tip 7. Prioritize your mental health at every stage of life. As we age, much of the focus often shifts to physical health, adapting diets, exercising, and scheduling regular checkups. But there's another aspect that's equally important and often overlooked: mental health. It's not a luxury, it's a cornerstone for enjoying your golden years to the fullest. Aging naturally brings changes. Children grow up and move away, close relationships may dwindle, and losses may become more frequent. While these are inevitable parts of life, they can leave us feeling empty, lonely, or directionless. Instead of letting these feelings take over, take proactive steps to nurture a healthy and positive mental state. One effective way to do this is by finding meaning in daily life. This doesn't have to involve grand goals or far-reaching ambitions. Sometimes meaning is found in small things: caring for a garden, volunteering in the community, or maintaining regular contact with friends. Eleanor, a 75-year-old widow, struggled with depression after her husband passed away. Instead of sinking further into sadness, she joined a local dance club. Not only did this keep her active, but it also introduced her to new friends and brought a renewed sense of joy to her life. Another key is learning acceptance. Aging often brings new limitations, but instead of focusing on what you can no longer do, focus on what you can still enjoy. Shifting your perspective can open doors to opportunities you might have overlooked before. Without the pressures of work or family obligations, this stage of life can be ideal for self-discovery, learning a new skill, or simply savoring life's small pleasures. Paraphrasing, serving others. Above all, don't hesitate to seek support when needed. Many older adults shy away from discussing their emotions, thinking it's a sign of weakness. But sharing with loved ones, friends, or even a professional can help alleviate stress and restore balance. George, 80, felt abandoned when his children moved away. By joining a local support group, he found people who shared similar experiences and belonging. Remember, your mental health doesn't just affect how you feel. It shapes how you experience life. Taking time to care for your emotional well-being, finding joy, and fostering positive relationships is essential for creating a fulfilling and meaningful life. Life will always have its challenges, but how you face them determines how strongly and happily you live. Age is not a barrier. It's an opportunity to live more peacefully and intentionally than ever before. Okay, so, as we journey through the later years of life, what truly matters isn't how much time we have left, but how we choose to live each day. I hope today's insights not only help you embrace the reality of aging, but also inspire you to find joy and meaning in every moment. Because each day is a gift worth cherishing. Always remember, your age does not define your worth. While this stage of life may come with challenges, it's also an opportunity to rediscover yourself, open your heart, and create beautiful memories. You absolutely deserve a life filled with purpose and happiness. Find a few minutes of silence. Set intentions and see what emerges. Create beautiful memories with friends and loved ones, and find a few minutes of quiet to reflect on things you have learned. Weight a paper back to the journal you shared with your friends. You also deserve a life filled with purpose and happiness. Disconnect from social media. Put away your phone. Find happiness somewhere else, and set the table for an all-inclusive, more favorable future. Together, we might create something brighter. If you found these tips helpful, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future videos. Your support and encouragement mean the world to me and motivate me to keep creating meaningful and uplifting content. Feel free to leave a comment below. Share your thoughts or your own story. I'd love to hear from you and connect. And if you think this video could help someone you know, please share it and help spread this positive message even further. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. Let's cherish each day with peace, love, and happiness. I'll see you in the next video, wishing you health, joy, and all the best life has to offer.